Connor Miller persuasive speech. The goal of this speech is to get you, the audience, to watch the show Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga is an awe-inspiring anime, or Japanese animation, that takes place in the early 11th century. It captures the audience with wonderfully beautiful animation and emotional connections developed and created through the beautiful writing. It will have you both laughing and crying simultaneously. The main character, Thorfinn, is a young Viking boy, and it follows his life experience as a young Viking, torn from his family and having to go through and witness and participate in the horrors of ancient warfare that we just aren't accustomed to seeing today. The fighting in this show will have you both constantly on the edge of your seat, hoping for your young character's survival, and at the same time just entertained and invigorated by the beautiful animation of the fight scenes. The show is violent, however, and it isn't for the squeamish. Consequently, if you enjoy the more violent nature and aspects of animation and entertainment, it's a perfect match for you. However, if you don't enjoy the blood and gore, this show could still be one of your favorites, because despite all of the blood and blades, underneath that, you'll find a brilliant storytelling and wonderful character building around some of the even most minor characters that you barely see. Another beautiful aspect of this show, or anime, is it doesn't just show the highs of war. It shows the true tragedy and horror that's created through war and sheds a light to the harsh realities of it. From the separating of families to the raping of women, this show gives a realistic outlook of the world while still keeping the plot in and about and around Thorfinn's life journey. And all of this, if you can believe it, is just in the first season. The second season of the show takes a whole nother tone and shows the death of Thorfinn's arch-enemy throughout the whole show and him being sold into slavery. This kind of plot shift completely changes the dynamic of the show and is one of the reasons why I personally have grown to love it so much. And this, him being sold into slavery, is another realistic outlook of the world at this time and really kind of puts you in the ancient world, because today, when we think about things like this and shows, we would never think about something like this happening, let alone happening to the main character of the show. It shows Thorfinn coming of age as a slave and his maturing past just a simple warrior to a man, and shows how, despite all of his experiences, Thorfinn grows to oppose the very violence he used to be a part of. Thorfinn's dad, early on in the show, was a warrior who had went through the same journey, a warrior that had been to war, a warrior that had fought, killed many men, and shows his journey to becoming a peaceful man. And early on in the show, I could give an example of this. Thorfinn looks for a blade, a sword, because he, like every other young boy in his village, wants to go to war. This isn't necessarily a spoiler for the show, it's just an example. And Thorfinn's dad walks in on him grabbing his sword, and he asked, who does he want to kill? Why does he need a weapon? Who does he want to hurt? And the young, naive, probably 6, 7-year-old Thorfinn says, I want to kill the enemies. I want to kill the people we go to war with. His dad wisely and smartly points out a lesson that Thorfinn will never forget. And that lesson is that you don't have enemies. Your enemies aren't on the battlefield. Your enemies are within yourself and you becoming a man. And this kind of plot point that we see exposed in one of the first episodes of the show is something that really sticks with Thorfinn and grows along with him, matures along with him through his coming of age and through the second season of the anime. This growing and maturing of a character is something rarely portrayed in entertainment, and it just makes us as an audience that much more attached to the character. Now, I really want everyone to watch this, so I'm not going to spoil any more like specific topics or specific examples from the show, but I really think you and everyone else would love going on this magical journey that I believe is truly one of the best pieces of entertainment humans have ever, yes, ever created. And that, along with many other reasons that I wouldn't want to spoil until you actually saw the show, is reasons why I think you should watch Vinland Saga.